Okay, so I think it's close enough now to 3 o'clock, so welcome everybody to the Saturday afternoon ongoing meditation class. As you may know, that we hold 2 classes in meditation every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 4:15. They're all for free and they're the highest quality. In other places you call up and you say how much they cost, and they cost you an arm and a leg. And you think, well, if you have to pay that much, it must be worth something. But this is where all the great teachings come from in Buddhist monks. And so you get it from the source, and you get it for the best price in the whole of Perth, which is 0. We do this out of joy, out of giving. But of those 2 classes, the ones for the beginners class, which is the introduction to meditation class, that is always held in the room to my right, as you go out here, the room to the right over there, because when you start meditating, you do need to build a good foundation. And here we assume that people will be meditating for quite a while, so they can meditate for about 40-45 minutes every Saturday afternoon, and get some instructions on some of the deeper parts of meditation. And so if you're just starting, the class here may be a bit too much. So if you are just coming for the first time or the first couple of times, please do the course, 4-week course, in the room to my right first of all. I have to say that because sometimes people come in here, they don't know which room to go in. So the beginner's class is the room to my right. Very good. 2 people have now escaped suffering. Very good. Okay, for the ongoing class, as you all know, one of the biggest problems in meditation is the restless mind, where you can spend all 45 minutes of the meditation thinking about stupid things. And one of the reasons I gave my talk last night on the wisdom born of stillness is that we always assume that we can solve problems through thinking them through. And you should know by now, that you're not sort of young people in this room today, to be honest about it, and you all should know by now that thinking just doesn't really get you anywhere. As one person said some time ago, you think around things, you don't think into them. You think about a problem. You don't direct your thoughts right to the very center. Just like as something orbiting the planet Earth. It goes around and around and around, but it never actually gets to the hub of the matter. So thinking about the problems of the past or the future, or even any problems in the present, just is a waste of your time. And anyway, when you do think about things, it drains your energy. And people are already tired enough mentally. So instead of wasting time with thinking, instead of draining more energy thinking, because you know how much energy that takes. It makes you so exhausted. And especially when you get frustrated, you can't find a solution. For goodness sake, stop the thinking. Just be silent in this present moment. And you'll find 2 things happen. Number 1, you increase your mental energy. So with the increase in mental energy, your mind and your brain become more powerful. So after re-energizing your mind, your brain, you find that you can think clearly. Now for many of you this is an old story, but there's always people who come new here, and this is a story which is appropriate at this point. And I haven't told it for about 6 months probably, and that is the story of when I was a student. I was studying theoretical physics at Cambridge University in the UK. And that in 1972, when I did my final examinations, in those days, you wouldn't believe this, but this is how it was. The whole university degree depended upon one series of examinations for 6 days. You passed, you failed, everything else you did in the whole 3 years in a UK university counted for absolutely nothing. Everything was down to one series of exams. That is stressful. Number 2, the way the exams were scheduled made it double stress. We started on a Monday morning, at 9 o'clock, 3-hour examination, 3-hour paper on theoretical physics, quantum science, astrophysics, all that sort of stuff. And that was hard work, doing a 3-hour paper. We had 1 hour for lunch, and after lunch, another 3-hour paper from 1 till 4. That was Monday. The same on Tuesday. Wednesday was exactly the same. Same as Thursday. And Friday too. And even Saturday. 6 days in a row. 3-hour paper in the morning, 3-hour in the afternoon, 1 hour for lunch, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Now that was, if they did that these days, the World Health Organization, the Human Rights Commission, would probably sue the Cambridge University for mental and physical abuse, because that was just really over the top. But with no rest at all. But I knew how to meditate. I knew how to do well. And what I did every lunch hour, instead of having anything to eat at all, I went back to my room, sat meditation for half an hour. And to this day I recall exactly what happened. As soon as you sat down on your cushion, closed your eyes, had a big breakfast, a nice dinner in the evening those days, but nothing for lunch. I sat down, closed my eyes, and you know what comes up first thing? What did I do in my morning examination? Did I get the right answer? Did I put enough explanation? I started reviewing this important examination I'd done about 15-20 minutes ago. How stupid that is. The exam papers have already gone in. Right or wrong, it cannot be changed. Just like everything else of your past. Right or wrong, good or bad, you cannot change that past. The past is with the examiners, if you like. But even something so obvious as an exam paper just done, you cannot change it. Still, people will worry about it. Just like your past, which cannot be changed. You still worry about it. Think about it. And think, oh, if that happened again, I'll do this. If I had another chance, I would change it this way. So many people fantasize they could find, or at least borrow Doctor Who's TARDIS, go back in the past and fix up their own mistakes. Apparently Doctor Who's still going. I was really surprised. I used to watch that when I was a kid, and I'm getting old now. But anyway, many people would like to go into the past and change it, but Doctor Who's TARDIS, the time machine, is only a fantasy. It doesn't exist. So you cannot change the past at all. So in here, in meditation, we do learn just how to let it go. To discharge, untie yourself from the past. For goodness sake, realize what a waste of time it is thinking about the past. And when I let go of the past, because I'd done a little bit of training, not much meditation, but I trained myself just to let the past go. And the next thing which came up into my mind was the future. The exam coming in half an hour's time. I was going to do a life-defining test. My future depended upon it. This was important. Final examinations at university. I often say when I tell this story, if only I had known I was destined to become a monk, I wouldn't have worried at all. What use is a degree when you're a monk? But anyway, I didn't know that, so I really worked hard. And when it came to meditating, and an examination was 20 minutes away, half an hour away, I started thinking about it. Should I prepare for the exam? Should I get out books? Should I do something? And there's something I noticed by that time. I'd done enough exams in my life. Everything I decided to look up an hour before the examination never ever came up in the paper, not once. Now that's a metaphor. That's real, that happened. Everything you prepare for in life doesn't usually happen. Something else happens. Thinking about the future is like swatting, preparing yourself by an exam by looking at the book the last hour or two. Whatever you prepare for, something else happens. Other questions come up, not the ones you looked up in the last half an hour. I realize that. And I also realize one of the things I say here every week, if you want to do well in the future, examination coming soon, tomorrow, next week, this year, the examination of real life. If you want to do well in it, like I wanted to do well in the afternoon exam, I had to put all my attention in the present moment. I had to relax. That's the best way to prepare. And as many of you would know if you were here listening to my talks, in this year's Wimbledon tennis tournament, Novak Djokovic, who won, the world #1 tennis player, when he was at Wimbledon, there just happens to be, I know this because I've been there many times, the Thai temple is in Wimbledon. And the abbot of the Thai temple, very smart guy, he opens the extensive grounds during the Wimbledon tournament for car parking. And they make a fortune. Just like if there was a tennis tournament just in the park over there, or just a kilometre away, we've got a car park here, you can open it up and make a bit of extra money to pay the bills. And that's what the abbot of the Thai temple in Wimbledon, what Buddha does. And people are very happy because it's hard to find car parking in such a major tournament. But every morning, even before the cars come into park at the temple, who walks in there every morning during the tennis tournament? Novak Djokovic comes in there to go into the grounds, find a nice quiet spot, and what does he do? Meditate. Every morning for the tournament, because he's got this incredibly stressful test coming up soon, playing the best tennis players. And he realizes, just as I'm telling you here, just as I realized when I was doing examinations, now is where your future's being made. If you can let go, relax right now, you're going to do well, whatever you have to face next. So if you have a problem, his problem was facing Andy Murray, or facing, who else is good? Roger Federer, facing, who else? I don't know. Leighton Hewitt, he's a bit past it now, isn't he? Anyway, whether he's these great tennis players, a big test, the best way you can do that is to be in this present moment and relax. That's where your future is being made. So if you do have problems to solve, thinking about it is a waste of time. You will lose. I will fail my exam. So instead of thinking about it, I realized I had wise enough, the best thing I can do for my afternoon examination is not think about it, but relax, rest. Now, of course, that's logic, that's reason. You've got to convince yourself. I call that marketing. Marketing, present moment. Convincing yourself is an important thing to invest in. And if you really convince yourself that the present moment is more important, really important than the past or the future, you will find you will not give the past or future value. You give all the value to the present moment. It really is important. You will be here, and you realize it works. So, I stopped thinking about the future exam, and then I was in the present moment. I was now what we call, a big thing which is being sold these days, I was now mindful. Mindful of what was happening in my body and mind. Before, I was not here. I was in the past exam, the future problems, for me was the examination. Now I was in the present moment. And that's when I was shocked at that time. Because it was stressful. You've got to admit that. And the stress which I had about worrying about the past exam, the future exam, trying to my best to do well, I was nervous, physically shaking. And what shocked me more than anything, I hadn't noticed that. It is amazing just how unaware people are of their bodies, because they're so busy worrying about what to do next or what happened in the past. They're so unaware what's happening now that you have sicknesses coming, tumours coming, dysfunctions in the body, in the liver, in the kidney, wherever it happens to be. The body is telling you. It tells you every second that there's something going on, something wrong, something needs to be adjusted. But we're not here. We're not mindful. We're off thinking about what's going to happen next, worrying about what happened earlier today. We are so unpresent that we miss the body's signals. I remember reading a summary of a book about cardiologist. And he said, and I really took this on board, he said that there is no such thing as a sudden heart attack. It does not come, as they say, out of the blue. Before you have a heart attack, you have many signals which the heart gives you before the big one comes. But you're not listening to them. You're not here. You're not aware of your body. And that's why when the big one comes, it really knocks you out. But if we could listen to the signals beforehand, be aware of our body, it's amazing what you can do. You can maintain good health because you catch the early signs of sickness, ill health, or disease, and you can do something. So, I caught the fact that I was physically shaking. I didn't realize it. And so what I did was to relax. Once you could feel your body, you're mindful of it, it's so easy to control and change it. What I say every week, I was doing this even when I was a student. You can feel the body shaking, what makes it shake more, what makes it shake less. And obviously you learn. You're more tense, more worried, come on, stop it, stop it, stop it. It gets more shaky, more tense. Let go, be kind. Because it's a feedback mechanism. You do this, you relax more, you do something else, relax more, you do something else, it tightens up. You soon learn how to relax. So I could relax all the shaking away until my body was comfortable. Imagine just how much energy that was taking away, and I needed every bit of energy to face the afternoon examination, as you need every bit of your energy to face whatever you have to do in life. So, what happened next? Having calmed down my body, then I got even to the deeper stage, which how tired was my brain. Just like your brains are exhausted from New Year's, visiting family, doing stuff. This is supposed to be a holiday. Ha 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 ha. It's more stressful than going to work sometimes. How many people, when they have a holiday, can just relax? Don't go down to the beach. Everyone's down there. If you want to get away from it all, stay at home. No one's in. They've all gone out. Home is the most relaxing place. So, you learn how to relax your brain. It was so tired. And in my book I wrote about this story. I tried to find a metaphor, the best metaphor I had, because I was an Englishman. I said I was like a tea bag which had already been used twice and had nothing left at all in it. No caffeine, no tea. It was just all drained. You can imagine a tea bag. You make a cup of tea, you take it out afterwards. And actually, there's a lot of tea you can waste. You can actually put it in another time and get some more tea out of it. Recycle it, reuse it. Don't waste the earth's resources. Use tea bags twice. Except if you're making a cup of tea for me, please. Only once. But, I'm selfish. But, my brain was like a tea bag which had been already used twice. Nothing left at all. And so, of course, I had to perform. So what I did was realize that because it was all used up and I was really tired, exhausted, I just was still. I didn't worry about it because I didn't know how to get energy back in the brain. One thing I did notice, that when you are still, energy comes back into your brain. Because every time you move, you waste energy. Every time you're totally still, do nothing, just be here, energy has got nowhere else to go but into this present moment. Literally, you recharge. Like your smartphone, no charge left, you can't use it. That was like my brain. And I recharged it. And it's incredible how little time it took. 5-10 minutes, and my brain was fully recharged. And of course, that was so important. I had to use that brain. For an important exam. So when I went in the afternoon, I was fully charged, and I did really well. And part of the anecdote, at the time my friends never talked to me because they were all screwed up, worried about their own exams. It was only afterwards, one of my friends came up to me and said, it's Peter, my name was in those days. They said, "Why were you smiling when you went into the afternoon exams? Were you cheating? They really thought I was cheating, because everyone else was really worried, final examinations, and there was I going smiling and nice and happy. And the only thing they could think of that I got hold of the examination beforehand, so I wasn't worried I was cheating. And I just told them I'm not cheating at all. I just knew how to relax and get my energies back. And when you get that energy, you want to think, you want to solve problems, you've got work to do, an important letter to write, you're going to put your CV out to do an interview or something, then you're on fire. All cylinders, cylinders working, whatever it is. Firing, thank you. All cylinders firing, everything just really goes. You feel that way. And that is one of the great things of meditation. You think through your problems, you're wasting time. Don't think about the past or think about the future. Like the exam simile, that's why I keep saying it's a beautiful simile, because my past was very clear. It was just the last exam. Your past, whatever else was happening, some time ago, that is your past. Finished, done, exam paper in, you can't change it. For goodness sake, forget about it. You've got more important things to do. Future, I've got to prepare myself now to do well in the afternoon, just like you have to prepare yourself when you meditate for whatever you have to face coming next. And past, future, gone, you feel your body. It's amazing what you're doing to your body, which you don't realize. You can really relax it. Next thing, because of stillness, your mind energizes. We realize that because our mindfulness increases. Mindfulness is not just being aware, it's how clearly you are aware. How strong is that power of attention. Difference between waking up in the morning and going out and it's dark, you can hardly see. And the middle of the day, when everything is so bright, you can see everything. Almost like nil mindfulness to strong mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just being aware, it's how clearly, how strongly you are aware, how much you can see of what's going on, how much you can feel, how much you can know. And this is how the stillness increases that mindfulness. So once it's built up, then whatever you need to do in life, you can think it. You can find solutions. But while you're meditating, it's not the right time. You're wasting the opportunity. So that is marketing, silence, present moment. So you don't need to waste energy thinking. Okay, so that's the introduction. So let's go and do some meditation. No more talking. Here we go. And if you are sleepy too, if you're really still recovering from New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, then allow yourself to be sleepy. Don't, for goodness sake, don't fight it. Be still. Sleepiness means low energy. And look at it, low energy and you fight, you're losing your energy. Just relax, and let energy come back by stillness, not by fighting. So here we go. Closing eyes. With your eyes closed, bring your awareness into your body first of all, how you're sitting. That's always the first thing I ever do when my eyes are closed. Just look at my posture and see if I can get it to be more comfortable. And if you just look at it for a few seconds, you don't really understand the posture. You've got to look at it for a couple of minutes, at least, to really feel it. Partner. And he said, oh yeah, I know what you're saying. And he doesn't. He needs to listen more. Your body is talking to you. Listen to her until you can understand what it needs. Do you need to move? If so, move. If you need to scratch, scratch. Cough, please cough. This is the way that most people start relaxing their body, through movement. All the sensitivity and the movement which we've learned from evolution to make our body comfortable. Remember, we're supposed to maintain this position for about 40-45 minutes. So please make sure it's comfortable. The sort of comfort which will be there at the end as well as the beginning. And when your body is comfortable, you think it is, then look at sections of the body, parts of it, to see if there's anything which is tight inside of you. I like to imagine if there's some tension somewhere, that there's these two muscles, stretching them, putting tension on them. And I imagine those two invisible beings letting go, not pulling anymore. So my muscles or ligaments, whatever it is, gets loose, like a loose piece of rope, rather than one which has been stretched and taut. That visualization helps me relax. And the other one which helps me relax, if I've got a knot of pain somewhere, I imagine that ball of pain expanding. As it expands and expands, it gets less dense. Just like the simile of the sponge, all squashed, because it's got pressure on it. You take the pressure off and it expands. So you're taking pressure off, not containing things, letting them expand and be natural. And you keep looking at different parts of the body, mindful. And you soon learn mindfulness giving you feedback. You're looking at how relaxed or how tense your body is. How relaxed your guts are, or how tense they are. How painful or irritating is your sinuses, or how relaxed. When you're mindful of the correct area and the correct quality of that area, relaxation, tension, when you look at the right thing, you find you can control it. You can lessen the tension, the irritation, the pain, lessening the tightness. You feel your body relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. And I don't stop until my body feels really relaxed. I'm mindful that when it gets relaxed, you start to feel the body as delightful. I get used to recognizing the pleasure of a relaxed body. Specific flavor of all the pleasures that are available to human beings is physical relaxation. And I also know intuitively that when my body is relaxed, it can heal itself. If I can notice it's a healthy sign. And when it is relaxed and healthy, only then do I stop my mindfulness being focused on the body, and I put it on my emotional world, my mind, the world of thoughts and feelings and past and future. I always make sure the body's relaxed first. Because number one, it's pleasant, means the body's not going to disturb me. And number two, I've developed mindfulness and letting go. I do the same with my mind. If there's a thought from the past which comes up, I'm aware that that takes away my peace, my freedom. And I'm also aware that the past cannot be changed like the morning exam. It's a total waste of time thinking about it. And just that thought, that way of perceiving the past, my mindfulness notices the past is not so important. It makes it easier to let it go. I call this softening the past, making it less heavy. Whatever you imagine it as, it means its importance is decreased and decreased until the past is so light, so unimportant, it's easy to let it drift off without you. You let it go. And then if there's something from the future starts bothering me, again, I just notice how heavy is that fear or anxiety about the future, how tight it is, and again realizing that now is where the future is being made. This present moment is more important to me for my future success and health. This present moment is so important that thinking about the future is actually going to destroy my happiness and peace and health. So again, I soften the future by taking away its importance. Which needs to be solved. The best way is to be in the present. Build up my energies first. Remember Novak Djokovic. You're about to play this important contest. For goodness sake, don't think about it. Don't be anxious about it. Otherwise you will lose for sure. Soften it. Take away the future's importance. Until it goes. And you're left with this present moment. Now what do you look at in this present moment? Look how agitated you are or how peaceful you are. Look at your mind and think about it like a lake with waves on the surface. Big waves or little ripples? Which one have you got? If there's big waves, see what makes them bigger. Small waves, see what makes them even smaller. Be mindful of how still your mind is, how peaceful. And what makes it more still, more peaceful. as you're watching this moment, calming it down, there comes a point when you become aware of your breathing. It happens naturally, it just comes to you. When it does, just observe it. And remember, your job throughout the rest of this meditation is just to be here. Whatever happens, whatever you see in your mind's eye, just make peace, be kind, be gentle with it. Don't do things. Don't drive the vehicle of meditation. Be a passenger. Because the more you let go, the more your mindfulness will get stronger and stronger. As your mindfulness increases in its power, you can see more and go deeper. Be still and let your mind wake up. And my mouth is now going to be still until we end. Getting close to the end of the meditation now. How do you feel? How still is your mind? How relaxed is your body? And why? What did you do that worked? What did you do that didn't work? Please learn at the end of every meditation. I will know. Very good. Okay, usually have some questions from overseas. No overseas today? Didn't work. Okay, it didn't stream? Not working. Oh, maybe the internet's gone on holiday. It's maybe also tired. So any more questions from the audience here, especially about what was being said today? It's your chance to pose a question instead of all these people from overseas grabbing the attention. Okay, you may try this, to learn, to see if it does work. What I was saying, after you've had a good meditation, if there is a problem you have to face in life, something you have to solve, a decision you have to make, if you want to think about it, please think about after the meditation. Sometimes what happens is that after the meditation you realize, what's the problem? It's not a big thing anymore. It's not a sort of an important issue. I gave a talk in Penang about a week, 2 weeks ago, entitled, What's the Problem? Why do we like to think about problems? A lot of time it's because we're afraid of silence. We always want to interfere with it. I see that so often in our culture. You have a space on your wall at your home. What do? You put a picture on it. You have a nice empty corner and you put a flower pot there. We had this beautiful empty shrine. When we first came, it was empty and people keep putting flowers and other knickknacks on it. It's so hard. You have this beautiful mountain top and people put a restaurant on top. Why can't we leave things alone? And it is, I think, because we are afraid of silence, emptiness. We always want to put something there. We feel that thereby that we can sort of control it rather than it controlling us. Because when you start to get still, you're out of control. You can't grab and sort of put stillness in a box. It always leaks out. As much stillness is in the box is outside as well. You can't sort of contain it. You can't put a name on stillness. It's like writing letters on the air. It just can't be done. You can't take stillness as an attainment. You can't sort of put your degree, knock a nail and add it to the sky. You just can't do those things. When there's stillness, emptiness, nothing, it means it cannot be controlled by you. Which is one of the reasons it's scary. It's one of the reasons why people sometimes like to worry. If they haven't got enough things to worry about in their own life, they start to worry about other things, like who's winning the football, like who's going to sort of marry whom in the game, or who's going to win in the game show, who's going to win in the X Factor, or whatever. People actually get so worried about these contests on the TV. Or, I remember reading, I've never seen these things for a long time, newspapers, these soap operas. There was a soap opera in the United Kingdom, and somebody in the soap opera, no, it was fantasy, got accused of killing someone, and they never did it, and they were put in jail for it. And all the people in England were writing to the House of Commons saying, this is not fair. It's only a TV show. They could not distinguish TV show from reality. So when they call it reality TV, what is real and what is your fantasies? Can you tell the difference? That's why sometimes people say, Ajahn Brahm, you should go into the real world. Living in a monastery, living as a monk, that's not the real world. And I counter, what do you mean, the real world? How many people dye their hair, are wearing padded bras? You go into the shopping centre, that is so far away from the real world. It's all fantasies and dreams. And it's not real. The real world is when you're still. When you don't put all the makeup of thoughts and perceptions around reality. When you see things as they truly are, rather than as you want them to be, or hope to be. That is the real world. I said last night, and it's still in my mind, this nice little cartoon which Danny has sent me. It's one of the best things she's ever sent me by email, because it's this guy who bought the book called How to Be Happy, on the front cover, How to Be Happy. In the next frame of the cartoon, it opened it. No one is happy. It's impossible. And then he closed the book, with a great smile on his face, and he hugged it with this beautiful smile on the face. How to be happy is realizing no one is happy. Happiness at last. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not made a mistake whenever you're unhappy. You're allowed to be unhappy. Unhappy people's rights. And stop trying to make me happy, which is one of the reasons why I've really rebelled against telling people Happy New Year. So many people have told me the last 24 hours, Happy New Year. And I say, no, I'm not going to follow your orders. You've got no right to control me. It's not up to you to tell me what to do next year. If I want to be happy, I'll be happy, or I'm going to be unhappy. It's my choice, butt out. So I've been telling people, Happy New Year or not Happy New Year, whichever you want. And anyway, you know it's not going to be totally happy. You've lived enough years now to know that, so just let it be. So I like playing around with people's ideas, and so you wish people a Happy New Year, but it's much more accurate to say, may it be a happier New Year, or mostly Happy New Year. Get real. So please live in the real world. You can have a lot of difficulties and suffering, part of the Buddhist teachings. But in order to make it more happy, have a happier New Year, not Happy New Year, but a happier New Year. Now that's real. Then you can actually ask people to do some meditation. Let go of the past and the future, be in the present moment. It's not without suffering, but at least it's happier. So when you go home today, don't wish people a Happy New Year. That is not living in the real world. Tell people a happier New Year. That's possible. You got a question now. Hooray! Go on. Are they happy? On retreats or Sunday afternoon advanced meditation class or sutta class, they're only happy when the enlightened one dies. That's the only time they're happy. So someone who's enlightened, they say it's in the suttas, in the teachings of Buddha. All they do, they see suffering arising, suffering passing away. That's all there is to their life. And they're like a workman waiting for their wages. They haven't been paid yet when they're enlightened. They get paid when they die. That's happiness. Now that really makes people just think again about what sort of the world is like. We always dream that we make this world a very happy place. People have been dreaming like that for a long time. They wanted that when I was young. We never made it. My generation, we really wanted to make a world of love and peace. We all went along singing along with John Lennon's Imagine. The imagination was not the real world. It's nice to sing that song and imagine, but the real world. However, you can make it more peaceful. You can make it happier. So I wish you a happier New Year, not a happy New Year. Otherwise, I will not get my wish. Okay, I'm just philosophizing a bit. So anyway, any more questions? You got one, okay. Have I started something now? Oh my goodness. Okay, can we have this? One more, many more. Go on.
Just quick ones, But when we get to meditation, we get in the state of stillness and calmness, it keeps dragging. Now, in the old days, when we started to learn meditations, we were actually warned that, look, do not be greedy.
Do not be greedy, yeah.
When we get indulged in, look, it's just so calm or whatever, it keeps dragging, and just be mindful that don't get addicted,
Addicted to what?
To stillness. And
who said that? The Buddha never said that. Don't be addicted to stillness. What the Buddha said is if you get addicted to the joy of stillness, you'll become enlightened, baby. You'll become enlightened.
So what happened? We just leave it.
Leave it, do nothing.
Let it drag on.
It doesn't drag on. If you really leave it, if you are still, it becomes powerful. You can feel your energies recharging. The pointer goes to full charge, and it goes around past full charge to supercharge. It goes even further to extreme charge. It has incredible brilliant lights, which are more brilliant, than the sun. It's more powerful than 2,000 nuclear bombs going off. You will get so much bliss you think you can't take anymore. That's really getting powerful. And then your whole ideas explode. And you're left with nothing at all. Nothing is higher than God. That joke I said to somebody about a year ago, just over a year ago. This Christian guy came up to me and he said, Ajahn Brahm, I've known you for a long time. Nothing is better than God. I said, yes, I agree with you. Nothing is much higher than your God. He got really upset. I don't know why. He was trying to convert me, I convert him back. We're only having a bit of fun together. So anyway, no, this is, if it... But I think probably what happens to many people, I didn't mention this today, I've mentioned it before, there's two types of waiting. Waiting for something to happen. That's called waiting in the future. Being mindful of the present, that's called waiting on the now. Don't wait in the future, waiting for something to happen. It never happens. Wait on the present, and then everything happens. You've got to look in the right place. Last question, over there, where have you gone?
Ajahn, may you have the most mad, bad, sad, glad New Year that you can ever have. And may you have some of the most crappiest meditations so that you remember and appreciate all the greatest blissful ones that you have.
Very good. Maybe I will follow your orders, but probably not. I'm rebellious. If someone tells me have a happy day, on purpose I decide not to, just to show that I'm independent. Very good, but I appreciate your kind thoughts. Very good, but I'm not going to wish you anything. You're free. Okay, let's finish this off. I'm just going to bow 3 times. If you want to, you don't have to. Ooh.